Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a topic that started out as a brilliant internal memo, but honestly, it was just way too good to leave sitting in an email inbox. We want to break this down into an expert-driven masterclass on healthcare data architecture that is actually easy to understand for everyone on the front lines of healthcare. So if you've ever felt the absolute frustration of systems that just won't talk to each other or administrative tasks that pull you away from actual patient care, you're going to want to share this one. We're exploring a blueprint from Ideal Shift AI that shows exactly how your organization can become fully AI-ready without blowing up your daily operations. Here is our game plan for this digital renovation. We've got 1. Healthcare's data dilemma. 2. FHIR versus openEHR explained. 3. The two-layer data strategy. 4. Preventing vendor lock-in. And finally, 5. The three-phase AI roadmap. Let's get right into it. Starting with Section 1. Healthcare's data dilemma. We first need to understand the critical bottleneck holding almost everyone back. To really get this, it helps to know where this strategy comes from. The insights we're unpacking today were originally penned by Emma Verhagen, the CEO of Ideal Shift AI. She brings a pretty incredible outside perspective. See, before founding this consultancy, she was a global tech portfolio director over at Unilever, where she managed and standardized massive data ecosystems across 190 different countries. In the global product world, standardizing data is just business as usual. Now, she and her team are taking those exact same robust, enterprise-level standards and using them to modernize major healthcare providers. The absolute bedrock of her blueprint is this. Your electronic patient dossier, the EPD, literally has to be the single source of truth. Think about modern care for a second. You're collecting data everywhere, right? Pre-intake forms, specialized health apps like MindDistrict or Carify, even just plain old Outlook emails. But if that data stays trapped in those separate apps, well, you lose the complete picture of the patient. The huge takeaway here is that any data collected outside the EPD must be written back into it seamlessly. It should look exactly as if a clinician had typed it in themselves. If you don't do that, you're just building more fragmented data silos. Let's move on to Section 2, FHIR versus openEHR explained. Time to fix the foundation and clear up some major confusion. Even seasoned IT folks get these two tangled up, but they actually solve completely different problems. Think of openEHR as your long-term memory. It's built for the long haul, structuring clinical models completely independent of any vendor. It uses what are called archetypes, basically a universal, standardized definition of something like a blood pressure reading, so that the data keeps its exact clinical meaning for decades, no matter what software is reading it. Now, FHIR, on the other hand, is your fast messenger. It uses modern web APIs to exchange data in real time, right now, between systems. So simply put, openEHR is how you securely store it forever. FHIR is how you quickly share it today. So why does strictly using these standards matter so much? Because if your data isn't standardized at the source, you'll be constantly cleaning it up downstream. Emma uses this brilliant Dutch phrase in her framework, dweilen met de kraan open, which literally translates to mopping the floor while the tap is still running. It's a perfect analogy. If your source data is a mess, your shiny new AI tools are gonna be a mess. They'll hallucinate or just flat out fail. We absolutely have to turn off the tap of bad data before we can even dream about advanced AI. All right, Section 3, the two-layer data strategy. Let's look at exactly how we stop all that endless mopping. This strategy is a best practice borrowed straight from mature global data programs. It elegantly separates the chaos from the order. First, you have your as-is layer. This just ingests all your raw, messy data from those legacy systems exactly as it is. No filtering, no changes. But then, right next to it, you build your core layer. This is where the magic happens. The data here gets transformed and mapped strictly to those openEHR and FHIR standards we just talked about. It sits there pristine and perfectly clean, totally ready for AI. You don't have to overwrite your messy history. You just build a highly organized, standardized library right next door. And the best part? You don't have to build all this from scratch. Ideal Shift AI strongly recommends leaning into the Microsoft Azure ecosystem, especially since most healthcare orgs are already using Microsoft anyway. You can use Azure Data Lake for those two layers we just covered, and Azure Health Data Services access your managed FHIR server. Microsoft does the heavy lifting on security and compliance. This means you can securely host your AI models internally without dropping millions of euros building physical servers yourself. Now, we can't talk healthcare data without talking privacy. One huge vulnerability with legacy systems is how they handle unstructured free text, like clinical notes. If you want researchers to use AI to analyze all those notes, you need this, a double anonymization framework. This is your ultimate safeguard. Actually, it's a two-step process that uses local tools to both pseudonymize and anonymize data before it ever even touches an AI model.
It practically guarantees strict GDPR compliance and protects against re-identification, which is literally essential if you want to participate in wider European research safely.
Moving to Section 4, Preventing Vendor Lock-in. This is a massive fear for IT departments trying to move to the cloud. How do you adopt modern architecture without getting trapped by a tech giant? The answer is standardizing your data totally independent of your applications. If your core layer strictly maps to open standards like openEHR and FHIR, your data remains yours. It is completely portable. Think about it. If you want to switch your APD software in 5 years, you don't lose your data structure because it's formatted to a global open standard and not some hidden proprietary vendor format. You keep absolute sovereignty over your patient's records. That is huge. And here is a giant sigh of relief for any IT team listening. This strategy gives you immense flexibility. You do not have to launch a terrifying, massive data migration on day one. Instead, you can just start extracting insights directly from your existing legacy Oracle databases using secure Power Platform connectors. You're syncing data near real time to your new environment, getting all the benefits of AI right away without pulling the plug on your current setup.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 5, the three-phase AI roadmap. Because a great architecture means nothing if you can't actually deploy it.
Emma's central philosophy here is simple but crucial. Don't boil the ocean. This blueprint aggressively avoids those multi-year, monolithic IT projects that drain budgets and offer zero visible ROI until the very end. That kind of waiting kills team motivation. Instead, she advocates for a value-driven, step-by-step approach. You absolutely must prove the value to your clinicians right out of the gate. And to prove that value, check out this number, 1.5 to 2 million euros. That is the estimated annual value created for a mid-sized organization of about 250 practitioners just by automating one thing, asynchronous care registration. That means using AI to automatically log and register email contacts and digital interactions. Clinicians don't have to spend hours doing it manually anymore. It captures missed billable hours, dramatically slashes the administrative burden, and honestly, it just immediately makes the staff's lives so much better. It is the perfect first use case.
So the rollout is a classic crawl, walk, run strategy. Phase 1, you start small with that one highly profitable use case we just talked about. You literally show your team that AI saves them time. Then in Phase 2, you organically add AI assistance to other parts of the workflow, automating client intake or linking up smartly with platforms like Carify and Outlook. Finally, only after you've proven the value, built real trust with your frontline staff, and perfectly organized your data in that core layer, then you hit Phase 3, a complete scale-up and full migration away from the legacy databases. As you think about your own organization's infrastructure and the heavy admin loads your clinicians are carrying right now, I want to leave you with this final thought. Is your legacy healthcare data securely mapped, standardized, and truly ready for the incoming European health data space? The future of healthcare is undeniably AI-driven, and the organizations doing the hard work to structure their data today are the ones that are going to deliver the absolute best care tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Definitely share this with your team, and we hope this blueprint empowers you to take a hard look at your own data foundations.